The following podcast is taken from a live broadcast on Inspire FM.
Any health advice given, whether general, diet, physical or spiritual, is general only and must be verified by your doctor. If you need medical advice, please consult a doctor.
Good evening, listeners, and welcome to another edition of your health and fitness show. This is Inspire FM 105.1. Your host for tonight is Leo Nazar. Maybe you can all recognize my voice. I have been on this show for the last 4 or 5 years. Started off as a guest, and the last couple of years I've been a co-host, and only recently I've done a couple of shows where I've actually been the host myself. Right, before we go any further, the numbers to ring tonight for WhatsApp number is 07779 481822. If you have any questions or queries regarding anything that we go through tonight, obviously feel free to leave a message for us. We're not taking direct calls today because obviously it's quite a lot on today. The show tonight, if you're not aware of it already, it's the first part of the show, half an hour, is about martial arts and really specialists in children's martial arts. So it's for kids, different types of martial arts for the kids, and we've got a little guest on the show as well who can obviously give some advice on training, etc., and some practicing, and maybe a little demo later on if you have enough time. And the second part of the show hopefully will be regarding adults boxing. So if you are interested in these types of martial arts, kids martial arts, then obviously tune in and see what any advice that we can give for you guys. And the latter part of the show will be adults boxing classes and boxing basically. Any questions or queries, feel free to ring the number again. Leave SMS messages only. The direct number for the studio today, we're not taking any messages, so you'll have to ring in direct and leave a message on there rather than ring directly to the studio. The number again is 07779 481822. Right, without further ado, I will introduce our young guest. He's only, I believe, 8 years old, and he's been doing kickboxing for a little while, so hopefully give him a round of applause. Hello, Dean. His name is Dean Nazar, and he's 8 years old. Can you just introduce yourself? Hello, say hello to the listeners.
Hello, listeners.
Right, what is your name and how old are you? I think I've already said that, but I'd rather you say it yourself.
My name is Dean Nazar and I am 8 years old. Okay,
and what are you doing on the show tonight? You're a host. You're a co-host in a way, but more of a guest on my show tonight. So, and who are you compared to are you related to me?
Yes.
Yes, you're my son. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what are you here for tonight? To give some advice on what do you actually do?
Kickboxing.
Oh, you do kickboxing. Great. Okay. So listeners, today obviously it'll be more on kickboxing. I am also a karate coach. I have actually also got qualifications as a boxing coach with the ABA. So I have been moving around from different martial arts. I have done Thai boxing for a few years, self-defense as well. So I am quite versatile in a lot of the martial arts that I actually do teach. I am a boxing coach myself, but at the moment in time I specialise more in the kickboxing element of stuff. So Dean, without further ado, how long have you been training?
2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years. And how many times a week do you go?
3 times a week.
And do you do any training at home?
Yes.
And how many times is that?
3 times.
Wow, it's quite a lot for a young kid. I suppose with a father like myself, then obviously we do trying to push the kids quite a bit. Have you had any gradings and everything at club? You got a couple of belts or not?
Yes.
Wow, that's really good. Any competitions?
Yes.
And how many competitions have you been to?
4.
And how many fights have you had in total?
10.
10 fights? That's a lot of fights for 8-year-old. And what? Did you win all of them?
No.
Well, you haven't won them all. How many did you lose?
2.
It's not bad. It's not bad going for an 8-year-old. I remember being 8 years myself, just about starting martial arts. I think I was about 7.5, coming up to 8 years old. Had no fights in the first year. Started fighting when I was about 9 years old, to be honest. It was karate that I did. Oh, so hopefully later on today, Dean, the latter part, we can maybe show us a couple of demonstrations on what you know. Listeners, feel free to send us any messages that you might have regarding children's training and martial arts. And the number to actually leave a message and WhatsApp us on is SMN messages are on 07779 481822. Right, as for martial arts, obviously today's mainly based on kickboxing, karate. I have been a coach and doing this for many years. At the moment, I only specialize in kids kickboxing classes. I don't really teach anything else at the moment. I'm also busy personally myself coming up with a boxing fight we've got due coming up. Again, that'll be discussed on the second part of the show. Coming back onto the kickboxing, Dean, so where have you actually gone to? Where do you actually do your training? In a club? In a hall? I mean, where is it that you actually do the training?
In a club?
Yeah, in a club. So is it, the hall is where? St. Peter's Church?
Yes.
Okay, so you train there, and anywhere else?
Ultimate Athlete.
Okay, so that's, I believe, in Kingsway at the moment. So, yeah, they got training places there. They got bags set up, so it's quite good for training, I suppose, for the younger kids. And at home, you've got equipment at home as well that your dad uses?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some stuff at home. We've got some bags. And I recommend this for all the parents, even though maybe you're not quite aware of how to use hand pads or anything else. It's straightforward. Left glove, right glove, as it were, and you just hold them for the kids to punch. And my advice to all parents is maybe invest in a pair of shields, a kick shield, or a pair of hand pads, and all you do is just put your arms through them, hold them, and the child basically does a round or two on them, and you time rounds. So what else do you do part of your training then, Dean? Do you actually do, what's the lesson based on? I mean, do you do skipping? Would you do pads? What is it that you actually do in the class?
I do skipping, some exercises, shadow fighting, and some fighting.
Okay. What about bags? Is there any bags that we hit as well?
Yes.
Yeah. And any fighting practice? Do you practice with the other students?
Yes.
Are there other children in the class as well, are they?
Yes.
And how do they get on?
Good.
Do they like fighting?
Some of them. Okay.
Right, so hopefully I'm going to show a couple of basic exercises, yeah, and obviously for beginners and intermediate and advanced. So guys, this doesn't necessarily mean it's just for people that are interested in martial arts, because warming up exercises are for anybody. And even with pads, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a boxer, martial artist to use pads, but you find is a lot more fun. And getting your child to just do a jab and a cross, a left and a right punch, for example, on a bit of equipment, really, it serves a good purpose. It keeps them interested and motivated. What do you think, Dean? Do you enjoy hitting the pads and the bags, or do you actually prefer doing the actual sparring?
Actual sparring.
Yeah, I mean, we do get time to time kids that actually prefer the sparring. But again, what we try to do is build up to the sparring. When a child first comes, he first needs to know the basic techniques of how to do a jab, cross, kicks, etc. And then how to defend them. and then obviously we put them on the bag and show them the power element side on a weighted bag. Then we show on the speed board, we'll actually show the speed, so we're not really hitting it at our full force, but we're kind of moving around, dodging the ball and working off that. We then move on to pads, so they do the stuff on there, and then final section would be actually in the ring or on mats, depending on what style of fighting that they're doing. So that's really the format of what we teach and how we teach. So hopefully we are going to be getting ready to do a quick demonstration. It's only going to be for about 5 or 10 minutes. So you guys, if you have any questions or any messages, please, by all means, send them in. Right, someone's actually sent in an SMS message for us, and thank you very much for that. It says here, Salam brother, what are the main benefits of martial arts for children? Now, there's a lot of benefits, to be honest, for martial arts in general, not so much just for the children, but answering your question on that note, for children, it's fun. It's interesting for them. It's a way of life, martial arts, and they should all be doing something. So whether it's kickboxing, karate, boxing, MMA, there's many different martial arts. Especially here in Luton, there's quite a few different martial arts. I say, take your son around to the different classes, meet the different instructors. You might, for some reason, not like a particular instructor. This child might get on better where he's got his other friends along there. Have a little look. So the benefit, I think, are many benefits for children. For one, it's the fitness level. It improves their fitness, so they get fit, whether they are slightly overweight or whether they need to put on a bit of weight. When they come into the classes, the appetite builds up, they get hungry, they're completely tired. So most people, when we finish our class and they actually go home afterwards, they find out that parents are saying that within 10-15 minutes, they're going to bed. They want to go to sleep. So that's another benefit, really. They don't, cause any problems when they're tired. They just want to go home and go to sleep. Many other benefits for martial arts for the kids. They're learning a form of defending themselves. So as they get older, they start to know what contact is about, and they start to know, what distance is from people. So when they have this someone that may one day, trying to bully them, they'll be able to hopefully handle themselves and be confident. I think more than anything else, be confident in what you know, so that we don't really, sometimes, the art of fighting doesn't mean we have to fight. Sometimes, when we see these bullies, sometimes when they look around to see who they're going to pick on, they normally look at easy prey, targets that they think are very easy targets for them to get away by bullying them. And if they see somebody very assertive and full of confidence, what you'll find most of the time is the bullies will leave you alone. So that's another benefit of martial arts for the children. It gives them something to concentrate and put their energy channel towards that. Keeps them off the street. When a lot of kids hang around into places that when I was younger, there was community centres where there was pool, there was arcade machines. Okay, all great to mingle with people and everything else, but I think something positive needs to come out of this. And when you're putting the hard effort in, you want to see results, and hence why martial arts is a way forward. Whatever martial art it is, I'm all up for martial arts. I don't mind someone who comes to training in my class and leaves after a year or two and they're going somewhere else. As long as they're going somewhere, I know that the children are still getting trained. They're going to be fit when they're older. And the body does tone up very quickly. And even for the personal training side of things, what do they recommend for children for training? Can you believe this? They average it at 45 minutes over a 5-day period per day. So that's why, if you notice, nearly all the schools have a curriculum, I think they all do, where they have some form of PE, or they'll have a break where they're expecting you not to stay in, and do your homework, normally to go out and mingle with people, socialize, or do some kind of physical type training. And you'll find a lot of the boys especially running around playing football, etc. Right, so Dean, sorry about that. You might be getting a bit bored for that part, but Right, we're going to now just go through a couple of bits, if you don't mind. Going to demonstrate for us what I'm going to tell you to do. Hopefully you're going to go through a basic warm-up, what we do in a class. Just a couple of little moves and showing beginning movements and intermediate and then advanced type, so that they have alternatives. If somebody, for example, let's just call any exercise, the top one which everyone knows comes to my head is press-ups. Those who can't do a full press-up, not to worry guys, we are going to show you alternatives to that. There are 3/4 positions and a box press-up, so we're going to go through that individually. Just a couple of basic exercises. We're going to show you a little bit of a warm-up on what we do for the kids. Obviously they do a lot of skipping. We're not going to demonstrate that everybody knows, how to skip, I suppose, or what skipping entails. And then we're going to just show you maybe 1 or 2 little bits on pads, really. I hope you all enjoy this. Okay, Dean, you ready for a little demo?
Yes.
Okay, then let's go. Let's have a look. Right. You all right? So we're just going to go through very basic stuff in the class. So what we would do, and these exercises doesn't mean these are just what you do in my class. These are basic type of exercises that we should be doing wherever we go. Okay, so whether you're in a gym, I use some of this as my warm-up. Obviously in a gym it's slightly different. If I've got a treadmill, I've got a ski machine, I've got many other rowers, etc. I'll use one of those. Why? Because I don't have that in my house. Well, actually I do. I have a running machine, I have a treadmill, I have a cross trainer, I have a couple of things at my house, but most people don't have that at their house. And to be honest, best to take the benefits of that. And the benefits are, if I haven't got that at my house, I'll use it there. It makes no sense for me to lie down at the gym on a mat, basically, and start doing sit-ups, because I could do that at home. So we're going to go through very basic exercises, Dean. So if you can just demonstrate, for example, a basic warm-up that we would do in the class. What we call this is star jumps. Is that right word? Actually is jumping jacks. So nice and slow so that everybody can have a look. Hopefully just from the camera they can all see you. So let's have a little look at how they're done. Excellent. Perfect. So when we're doing this, the arms are staying up. Let's keep going out and in. Obviously a beginner's version of that would be just one side at a time, then coming back into the middle, then going back to the other side. So that would be the complete beginner who's never done anything before. The next stage of that would be the middle position, which is medium speed, out and in. So we're going out with our legs, up with the hands, and then back in. And obviously someone who knows what they're doing, who's done this before. Coordination as well for the children. Come slightly forward and balance. So they stay balanced and they're coordinating their arms and their legs at the same time. Okay, brilliant. So that's one basic exercise that we do. So we're going to shout out a couple of exercises and you're going to show them. Can you show me how to do another exercise comes to my mind? Mountain climbers. Now this is quite a straightforward exercise. As the name entails, mountain. It's like climbing up a mountain, but we're not actually climbing a mountain. So down position on your hands and your feet. Okay. And all we're doing is trying to bring our knees towards our chest. So let's have a little demonstration of a basic, nice and easy position on how to do mountain climbers. And again, one leg goes forward towards your knee, the other leg extends right back. Now the beginner position, who's not done this before, it would be just one forward, then goes back, the other knee comes forward towards the chest, then extending your legs out, okay, or leaning on your arms, like a press-up position, bringing in one knee forward, then back. Intermediate position now, or an intermediate exercise would be just jumping from one leg to the other, okay, without any rest. And obviously advanced would be someone who's not actually putting his feet on the floor, only one foot touches, the other one's raised off, and you're bringing your knee right up to your chest. Okay, Dean, that'll do. Okay, so these are the basic exercises to help warm up the heart rate, really, and basically keep the heart rate going, yeah, and increase our flexibility slightly, and warm our blood to do the rest of the work. There's many other exercises. We're not going to go through everything today, just a couple of them, just so we have an idea of what we've been doing. Okay, another exercise, Dean, just quite hard one, this one. Even the adults, I find, when I'm teaching personal training for the adults, they find it's hard to do. And as the name is burpees. Now, the way this is done, first of all, you come down to the floor with your hands. Your legs go all the way back to extended position, like a press-up position. Then your legs come forward. Both knees come forward rather than just the one like the mountain climbers. And then you jump up in the air. So doing it slowly. Position 1, that'll be 2, that's 3. So 1, hands down, 2, legs go back and forward, 3, we jump up in the air. Okay? So again, break this down into slower position. Hands down, legs back, legs forward. Stick to what I said, please. Hands down, legs back, legs forward, legs up. Sit. So that is the full burpees position. And again, when you get a little bit better at this, we can maybe try to do, off you go, full speed, 20 to 30 of these. Yeah, and this will bring up your heart rate. And you're working all your muscles here, okay? Because you're extending your legs, you're working your core, you're working your arms, you're working really enough, most of your muscle groups there, all in one. Okay, that'll do. Excellent. Good job. Now, that is the basic first part of warming up and basically getting a heart rate up. The second part would be, during training, would be the strength part. So we need to condition the body to make it stronger. Yeah, so to increase our strength. And a couple of exercises, very basic one that everybody knows, but I've seen a lot of people doing this wrong, are the basic push-ups, okay, known as press-ups. So, the basic position on your arms, yeah, weight on your hands and your feet on the back, legs straight, back straight, okay? So, that's how it's normally done, that position, and we're going to go straight down to the floor and all the way up. So let's see you do 4 or 5 of those. Sit. Perfect. Okay? Right, these are quite hard to do. So, sit back. So, we break this down. So, if you're having difficulties in doing a full press up, the first stage would be the box press up. So, we're actually in a box shape. Yeah? Like a box. Okay, so that's a square shape like a box. And these are very easy. I'm sure if you've never done a press up in your life, you'll have no problem doing 10 to 15 of these all day long. So, just demonstrate that, please, if you can, Dean. So, we're just going towards the floor. Okay, so in this position, you've got, less than 50% weight on your arms and chest. So you should be able to hold 50% of your weight on your body, on your arms, chest and shoulders. The next stage is, once you can do, say, 20 of those, we go into 3/4 position. Now 3/4 of his body weight is going to be lifted with his arms and his chest and his shoulders. That's the quarter at the back there, from the knees going down to the feet. That's not actually going to be weighted. So, slightly forward, that's it, off you go. Just do 3 or 4 of those. That would be a 3/4 position, because 3/4 of his weight is actually got on his arms and working on the chest and shoulders. And obviously, we've been through the full press-up position already, which is a full weight that he's got. Okay? Okay, excellent. Right, one more exercise for now, or a couple more. Yeah, would be sit-ups on your back, young man. Okay? And let's have a look. Up and down. Very straightforward. That's the harder position with his hands there. A little bit easier would be swinging your arms up to come up. That'll help you come up. Squeezing the abs tight, going back down again. And the main thing to remember is, as long as, keep going, his shoulder blades come off the floor. We don't need to go all the way up to the top. That'll be probably enough. Up you get. Last exercise. Up. Squats, arms forward. Okay, this gives you a little bit of strain on your shoulders. So you're working the shoulders by holding your arms up. Okay, and bending down. Keeping your back straight and coming up, which works the whole of the legs. So we look in the quads at the front, the hamstrings at the back, and we've got the 2 muscles, the soleus and the gastrocnemius at the bottom of your calves. Everything's working all in one, as well as your glutes. And very good when you tighten your core, also working your core. You're working your shoulders and your arms are there as well. Right, we're coming up to nearly our break, halfway through our few minutes. Just going to give you a quick demo on your boxing. So let's have a quick look on the boxing gloves. Right, are you okay? Right, just very simple. We're just going to show you some very basic techniques. No power, nothing, just to show a little technique. What I want to see is a 1-2. So we're just going to be showing, okay? There you go, excellent. Let's have a little bit more power this time. 1-2. 1-2 hook, uppercut maybe. And again. And again. Okay, not bad. Let's go through a 10-punch combination, which allows us to go a little bit further. We're attacking. We're going to be basically coming out of the way and attacking back. Ready? Let's go. My bad. Let's go again. I messed that one up. And so we've got 10 punches with one combination going down. So we've got jab, cross, hook, uppercut, cross. Ducking down, cross, hook, uppercut, cross. Faster. Okay, a little bit of kickboxing to go with this. Let's have a little look at 2 punches followed by a roundhouse kick. Set a little bit more effort. Good. And again, remember to swing the arm down when we're doing that. Okay, good. Move over. Let's have a little look at this is very basic. Let's have a look at front leg, front kick. And again, then 3 punches, 1-2 hook. And again. Okay, good, excellent. Let's have a look at side kick. So, side kick would be changing stance, maybe easier. Let's have a look at side kick. And again, a bit harder. Good, so body turns to the side. It's a side kick. Reverse leg kick. It's opposite to a roundhouse kick. So, he's using the back of his foot this time. Okay, so that would be a reverse. The opposite of that is the front kick. Let him do that, make it harder for him. Round kick with that leg. There he goes. And again, we haven't practiced this at home. I didn't expect him to do this. And the reverse with the same leg. Not bad. And a side kick with the same leg. Okay, let's punch it out. And excellent, Dean. Thank you very much. Right, guys, we're just coming up to our halfway break now, and hopefully I'll see you on the other half of the break with our boxing coach. I'll introduce him when he comes in, and we're going to go through our boxing techniques and anything you need to know about boxing. Without further ado, okay, I'll see you straight after the short break.
This is Atik Malik here from the Ask Your Lawyer show. Do you know your legal rights? Do you have any questions about immigration law or need advice regarding employment law? Get your questions answered by a panel of experts on the Ask Your Lawyer show. Catch us every Monday from 7 p.m. onwards, either on 105.1 FM or Facebook Live, or on a podcast such as iTunes or Spotify. You can even tune in on the website as the show is on www.isparfm.org.
Any health advice given, whether general, diet, physical, or spiritual, is general only and must be verified by your doctor. If you need medical advice, please consult a doctor.
Hello viewers, and welcome back to the Health and Fitness Show. Your host for tonight is Leo Nazar. I think quite a few of you guys are quite familiar with my voice. The number to call in to actually give messages on, tonight we will not take direct calls, so you can SMS message us on WhatsApp on 07779 481822. We're sorry we're not taking any direct calls tonight. So it's been quite hectic for date for me today as well, and I had to obviously sort out my young son who was going to be one of the guests on the show, as well as getting the boxing coach. And without any further ado, we're going to get him to introduce himself. And first of all, a great thank you for you, Grant, for actually coming in for the show tonight on short notice.
No worries.
And I'll let you introduce yourself. And hello, Grant, and who are you?
Hello, my name is Grant Walpole. I'm a semi-pro boxer and coach. I've been boxing now for just under 15 years.
Wow.
I'm here today to talk a little bit about boxing and your upcoming fight, Leo.
Oh, wow. Okay. Guys, as you know, that I'm also a boxing coach. I haven't done it that long. I've been close up to 10 years, 8 to 10 years. I've done boxing. Many years ago, I did stop boxing and went into kickboxing more and specialised in that. But yeah, as Grant has mentioned, which we weren't going to mention straight this early as the show, it's going to be for the last 60 seconds or so. There is a show that he's organising and part of, and that promotions. I'll let him let you know on that. And I believe that's on the 6th of April?
6th of April, yeah. Rawbury Promotions. We do another boxing show in Dunstable. This will be our 5th.
Whereabouts is that in Dunstable?
Dunstable Conference Centre.
Oh, okay. I know where that is. Past the lights, just past the double roundabout. If you're going past, it's on your left hand side.
That's correct. Yeah, on the main high street.
Oh wow! And what they're gonna have there?
So, like I said, we offer semi-pro boxing. So we're gonna have 15 bouts on the night. And it's just a great experience, really. Like a lot of, we get a mix type of crowd, families, guys who like to come out and just have a good time, and it's going to be great. It's going to be really good. Yeah.
Okay. What about for some certain viewers? Being Muslim, I mean, where can they go? I mean, I know it's a mixed place, but I mean, is there somewhere they can meet up there and be out of the way somewhere? Or?
Yeah, of course. Like we still get a lot of religious people come to the event. Obviously, there's Muslim boxers, so we do offer a seated area which is upstairs, and there's no bar and no alcohol upstairs.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so We accommodate for everyone. Yeah.
So there's a bar downstairs in alcohol, but upstairs they're not allowed to. Basically, there's no bar, no alcohol served.
That's
upstairs.
correct. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So if someone wants to get alcohol, they have to go downstairs.
Oh
so,
wow!
Yeah.
And how much are the tickets?
So standard tickets are £30, and the seated tickets would be £35.
Okay. And is there anything else, group tables or anything like that? Or is it just that?
Yeah, not on this show. We try to run at least 3 shows a year, 2 shows like this, and then a third dinner show, which there would be tables. But for this show, no.
Oh, okay. No worries. Okay, coming back to what we're going to do, ask, is there any viewers that, like I said, feel free to text us any questions that you might have. And again, the number is on 07779 481822. And the show, this part of the show now is just to do with boxing. So whether it's children's boxing or adults boxing, questions you have, fire away, and we'll do our best. Obviously, message us and we'll let you know live on air what to do. Right, Grant, what else do you have kids in the classes that you guys do, or is it just for adults? I mean,
no, yeah. So we offer kids classes, 2 separate kids classes.
Where are you based?
So Hot Coring Amateur Boxing Club. I've been there ever since I started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like I say, I started there as a youngster myself. I was 14 when I started, and now I've got into coaching as well as fighting. So we offer 2 classes from kids from 7 till 9, which is 5 till 6 p.m, and then the following class 6 till 7, which is the teenagers basically. But yeah.
Anything for the younger children?
Like I say, we tend to start classes from like 7 upwards, but if the 6-year-old is very interested, for example, then they can come down.
Wow, 6-year-old for boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. And what do they do when they do come at that age? Because I'm sure at that age would be a little bit early for.
Of course, we try to make it as fun as possible. So rather than it being like a regimented session, we're trying to engage the young person and just having a bit of fun, letting off a bit of steam, and trying to instill a bit of discipline and technique. But yeah, try and make it as fun as possible.
Right, we're getting some of these questions firing in actually, and all I do is read out what they've actually put in. Someone's actually asked me about karate, about enrolling her daughter. Well, the karate classes I no longer do at the moment. I'm only just specialising in kickboxing for the children, and we will be starting to pick up maybe later on with some other classes incorporating that. But at the moment, it's just because I've got a busy schedule. I've dropped down from the karate and kickboxing. I did boxing before that as well, to be quite honest. I dropped that a few years ago because I was so busy. I even had a basic MMA class, but we stopped all that, and all we're doing is kickboxing. So yes, I would recommend karate would be probably perfect for a young lady that wants to start. By all means, get her to have a look at the kickboxing classes that we do, if that might be of an interest to her. But failing that, karate, top of my head, there are many karate practitioners in Luton. My older brother is also a karate expert who's been doing this for many years. I believe he was a brown belt when I started, and he's still doing karate ever since. He does do other martial arts, if I recall properly, but I think karate is his number one bread and butter, so he prefers that to teach that. So by all means, at the end of the show, you can get my number details. Those who don't have my number, by all means, I'm a personal trainer. I think you all guys know I'm actually training at Anytime Fitness in the town. Grant's been coming here talking about training at the place, coming down, helping me out with the training for boxing. Yeah, I mean, being a coach is one thing, but when you're actually competing, Grant, is a complete different ball game, isn't it?
It is, not just physically but mentally as well, because there's a lot of pressure. But I always encourage people to get into some type of combat sport, even if, like I say, if you don't take it up competitively, just to do the training, because it's great health-wise, but it's great for confidence and self-esteem as well. Mm-hmm. So I'm always trying to encourage people. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I used to be competing many years ago. I did some fights in kickboxing. I'd done quite well, to be quite honest, but nowadays I haven't been in the ring for a boxing fight. The last time I went into a boxing ring was I'll be quite honest, guys, over 12 to 15 years ago. So climbing back in the ring now and actually having a full contact fight with somebody, is, you know, kind of odd for me. It's not normal. I've not done this kind of training for a little while. Fitness side, I'm not too bad. I do some fitness training anyway, but obviously I'm glad that Grant's come along to help me out with my training. I need a decent coach, obviously, that knows how to train people. It's difficult when you're actually competing yourself to get the training in yourself. When you're really tired, you need someone to do the powers, you need someone to promote, push you, motivate you. And I really want to say thank you here live in front of everybody, to say like thank you for taking your time out to come down and help me out.
No worries.
Getting me prepped up for the show. I mean, the result should reflect. I mean, I've been training really hard. I expect the other guy to be training hard as well. You know, I do remember a few years ago we did actually train up to compete in boxing. Sometimes it's very hard to get matches, and when you do get someone matched up, they can for some reason have an injury during training.
That's right. That's one of the sticking points in promoting a show. But yeah, like injuries are common in combat sport. I've been injured plenty of times. Like right now, I've got a ruptured bicep at the moment, so I've been out on the sidelines for the past few months. But but you know, training's been going well for your fight. I can't wait to see you back in the ring, man.
Yes, guys, and all these guys who want to see me, I just let you guys know it's the 6th of April, the Conference Centre in Dunstable. We will be putting something up later on for any guys that want to make donations. I'll discuss that on a separate note. Those people who need to contact me for any information or any other advice on training, on martial arts or anything else, I think you're all now quite familiar with my number. Those who are not, it's 07956 456 321. Question here again, would you recommend boxing over MMA? Well, over martial arts actually. You know, to be quite honest, when I first started, I started with karate, and I went to have a sparring match with a couple of people, and they were in different styles, and they punched me all over the place. Because karate, I'll be quite honest, is very good, but they don't do very much, limited punches to the face. I had to then go hand in hand with the boxing class that I went to many years ago. Okay, and that was run in Luton as well. There was only 2 clubs, I think, at that time when I'm looking back good 25, 26 years ago, and I went and done the boxing because I had to have the boxing in line with mine karate, so that would give me the hands and the legs. The karate for competitions, we weren't allowed to punch to the face. So obviously we're good at kicking and we're good at punching the body, but we're not allowed to score anything by punching to the face. And boxing did me proud. The only reason why I left boxing, because 2 reasons. One was every time I got punched on my nose, I used to get nosebleed, and that took ages to heal up, and to stop bleeding, and it got me quite upset. And
that happened to me as well when I first started. I used to suffer badly with nosebleeds as well.
And then what happened? Did they burn?
I said no. I think I just
got done my cortisones, but I think you have to be minimum 10 or 12. Cauterized me. I think was it 10 or 12 years of age? Then you can't do it till then. But until then, I think it was 12 or 13 when they did it, and after that it was different. Yeah. And I could take a punch or two, and my nose didn't start pouring out with blood. And the second thing was, obviously it was a bit hard for me because I started off with a kicking martial art. So when I used to get a bit frustrated with the boxing, I'd throw a kick. And the instructor said, look, you know what, mate, it's best, I think, for you to move into kickboxing. Yeah. What do you do? I said, I've done karate and I've done boxing. He said, mate, I think you're better off to do kickboxing because that'll probably suit you, because in the ring you cannot hit anybody with a kick in a boxing ring. It's a boxing fight. Yeah. And at that time, because of my nose at the time, I did take that advice, and I moved into kickboxing and took it really serious after that. I did over 10 years of kickboxing after I did 10 years of karate. So now coming back to the boxing game, it's very hard. So answering this question, different opinions. Obviously, the boxers prefer the boxing. I'd say, Grant.
Do you know what? To answer this question, I'd just say get them into combat sport, man.
I agree with that.
It doesn't matter if it's boxing, karate, kickboxing, anything like that. It's going to help the young person, like I say, their confidence, their self-esteem, just being able to look after them. And it's also introducing them to different peer groups as well.
Of course it is.
So yeah.
And getting them to socialise, I think, is 100%, important as well.
100%, because that's nowadays young children, teenagers, it's all computer games, this, that and the other. So yeah, it's good for them to socialise, 100%.
But in all fairness, I think for boxing point of view, especially now that I've got a different view on boxing, boxing is natural more. Again, the movements, when you ask someone to hit someone, say for example, they don't normally stick out leg out. They normally hit with the hand. When someone defends anything, they don't normally defend with their knees or anything. They normally bring their hand up. So the reactions and the actions of boxing are already naturally drilled inside us.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, when you have a fight at school or on the street, someone's going to try to punch you. So,
it's not going to be he trying to kick me unless you're on the floor most of the time.
Yeah.
So, and the fitness for boxing, I'm going to say, is another issue.
It's nothing like it, is it?
Yeah, I've done a lot of fitness training. I'm a personal trainer. I've done a lot of other martial arts, but the fitness that you go through the boxing, it is absolutely demanding. And you know, with the boxing, okay, people have said, "Oh, it's only 2 weapons," because it is. It's just the 2 hands, the two fists. Yeah, but so everything's relied on that. And you know, you learn so much. And I think boxing, answering your question, mate, I think they're both just as good. I think anything, we're not picking between a martial art here, like Grant had said here. I think the best thing to do is go around, see the different schools, see the different instructors. First, pick which style of fighting that you want to do. See what you're interested in. Maybe most places will do a first free lesson. If not, it's a discounted lesson. Okay, go down, have a look. Get them involved, you know, speak to the instructors and see what they think.
Yeah.
I think it's very important that every child, to be honest, does some kind of fitness.
I
definitely some kind of self-defense or martial art.
100%.
Whether it's boxing, kickboxing, karate, kung fu, whatever.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm a big
Especially
supporter of that.
in this day and age. I think it's not so much for them to be able to, yes, it is that they need to be able to feel confident. And I think it's also for the fitness part, is also so that they get out of the house. I mean, there are other activities that they can do, but I think obesity is getting to be a big problem. So I think people, instead of everybody joining gyms when you're that young, you can't join a gym. You can't join a gym at 8 years old.
But also, it's like, I know a lot of people, you know, don't like to train and do fitness stuff because it's boring. Where, you know, if you go to a boxing gym or something else, you're just switching up a little bit. It's a little bit fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know, like, for example, my boxing club, there's a lot of people that go down there that don't compete. They go there just to keep fit. Yeah. You know?
And I think it's very good. It's an all-round fitness. Hitting a bag or pads and on the move, before you know it, you've done over 45 minutes to an hour, you know, and you've lost loads of weight, and you lost loads of sweat, and you know, you worked extremely hard, and before you know it, you couldn't do that standing on a treadmill walking. You know, it's so boring.
5 minutes on a treadmill feels like an hour.
Yeah, it's absolutely agonising when you're looking around. Yeah. So a lot of people put on some music, whatever, but those are the people that do it regular. I think boxing or any type of training like this is very good, where they give you not just a space, because a lot of places I've been to when I was younger, karate was just on a hall floor. If you had a floor, you don't have, that was it. No, it needs to be a little bit more fun as well. And I think using bags, speed balls, pads, you know, all this makes it more versatile and more interesting for children as well as adults. So coming back to your boxing, what about the adults? Are they adults in the classes as well, or are they separate days to the children, or are they later on in the same day?
Yeah, so we run our sessions on a Tuesday and Thursday. Like I said, the kid session 5 till 6 and 6 till 7, and the adults is 7 till 9. So we've got a lot of competitive fighters in the gym, adults. So yeah, it's.
Any of them fighting on the show?
Yeah, we've got a few. For example, my younger sister, she's fighting on the show.
Wow.
Yeah, she's 15 years of age.
Actually, I do remember her training with you many years ago.
That's right.
You know, I remember I used to be at the gym in Dunstable, the recreation centre there. We used to go training there together on the weights, and I remember him training his daughter. And I looked at her and I thought, you know what? Very, very good in the making. I already knew that was a champion in the making. So, how's she doing with her fights? She's winning them?
Yeah, she's had 6.
Wow.
And won 6.
Has she?
Yeah, and in between this time, she's had about a year and a half out because she broke her shoulder as well. So, but she's doing really well at the moment.
And how old is she?
Like I said, she's 15 now.
15.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And she started when she was 6 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she's fighting on the show as well, I take it?
Yeah, she's fighting on the show, man. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw her the last time on the show, which was, what, three months ago?
About 3 months ago, yeah.
Yeah, she did really well. Very good. Very fast with her hands. But again, you know, having a person like you as a brother and a mentor and her coach, really, it does push and motivate and her to train that much harder. Does she actually go to the club as well and train with?
Yeah, so she trains with in the seniors with me on a Tuesday and Thursday, and a Sunday as well. So she trains when she's fighting. She trains 4 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So give her some time for some leisure as well.
It's a bit like what we're doing. I've done this morning training, and we're going again after this.
That's right. Yeah.
So sometimes I do twice a day. So what would you recommend for someone who just wants to stay fit? How many times do you think they should be coming boxing just to stay fit and active? And what do you think the difference would be between them and someone who wants to actually fight or deciding to get fit to enter the ring?
Yeah, so like someone who wants to get fit, I try to recommend, try and train, 3 times a week, but one of them sessions could be boxing, the other 2 sessions could be something else. But if you really want to compete and you really want to fight, then like I say, it's at least 4 times a week. And like for example, like you just said there, you train twice today. Mm-hmm. So when I'm fighting, I train twice a day as well, which a lot of people don't see. They don't see that type of stuff. But yeah, so I always say a minimum of 3 times a week for someone who just wants to keep fit. But yeah.
Yeah, guys, with fighting as well, when I go and see fights, and even when my kids, they go fight, my son only one fight recently last week in Watford, Bushy, and I took like 9 fighters that actually went? And out of 9, 8 of them won. Mm-hmm. So they all came back with their little trophies and whatever else that they've actually won. So they brought those back home, and it's a good encouragement for the kids. But what I'm trying to say is, I think when it comes down to training and competitions, I don't really pressure the kids or have a go at them if they lose. It's not the win or lose I'm after. Mm-mm. It is want to see 101% commitment and effort when they're actually fighting. As long as you've done your best, I'm not just saying this because I'm fighting. To me, wherever I go, as long as my kid has done his best, I've seen him do no better in the club, I'm happy with him. One of my kids, he had 2 fights. One of the children, when I say my kids from my club, they were in last week's Luton News. So those want to check up the last pages, they're on there. He's had 2 of the trophies because he had 2 separate fights and won both. But in the first fight, when he come up to me and I said to him, I'm not happy. And his dad said, why? He's won. It wasn't the win. That wasn't your best. I'm not happy with that. Whether you won the other guy because you were better than him or you were sharper than him slightly, that wasn't your best, and I expect your best. On the second fight that he had, which was about, was it 2 hours or so later? Hour and a half, 2 hours later, he had his second fight. And he won that as well, so that he ended up with 2 trophies. But he really did do his best, and then I was very proud of him. And that's why I say to all my guys, I'm not worried about that you didn't win a trophy or you didn't win a fight. All I want to see is give it everything you got. And if you train really hard in the club, and that normally goes with anywhere you go, you train hard, your fighting becomes that much easier. Mm-hmm. You've done this before. You're just going through the motions now. Okay, you've got a complete stranger that you're fighting against. You've probably never seen him before. Apart from that nerve there that you might have, and of course loads of people watching you in your hometown. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to say is that is all it really is. You've done the training, so you should be able to train extra hard. People think, don't worry, I'll make that up in the ring. What you need to do is make that up outside of the ring, so you train your best. Well, would you agree with that?
I agree, and
leave it all for the ring.
Definitely, no, I agree, and I think another point as well is we said about the 100% commitment. That's what you want to see. I think it's transferable into life as well. Like they can take that into school or into work, about always giving their best, 100%. Whereas if in training or in fighting, if they're cutting corners, then you're kind of laying foundations for them to cut corners in other ways.
In everything they do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it's like you said, 100%. You train hard and you fight easy. That's the saying, and it's true, man. All the hard work is done in the training which no one sees, and then come fight night, you've not left any stone unturned. You know what I mean? Like you say, if you're in the ring, win or lose, you know that you've done everything you possibly can to, yeah. I
mean, there has to be a winner, there has to be a loser. We all know that, but at the end of the day, as long as, like Grant's saying, you've done your best, you've done your training, and you get the other guy sometimes better on the day, or he's just a better fighter.
It's all learning anyway.
Yeah, and it's a learning curve, I think.
Definitely, 100%.
You take that with you to your next fight, and when you fight again, you think, hang on, what happened here? And then the next time you're going to be that much better. A lot of these fighters that I knew, I remember when my kids used to fight, they lost the first one. I went to a tournament. It was a national competition. It was the karate, kickboxing, MMA, not MMA, freestyle competition. So that means any type of style, Tang Soo Do, karate, kickboxing, kung fu, any of those mixed with it, kicking and punching in the head. This is what normally competitions we enter. But it was a national one. We weren't ready for a national. It was the first competition they went. I remember one of the boys, he had one, and the other, one of my boys had 5, and the other one had 8 or 9 and 1. And then my other boy, he had 1, and the other one had 10 clear points. And that was it, because they were from Belgium, Norway, and I saw that. I said to my kids, we're not going on this fight because we're not ready. It's our first con. And they lost. They said, no, we're going to still fight. So, and then they picked up from there. They went to next fight. So a lot of the champions that I know that become champions, not all of them have won. In fact, 90% of them plus haven't won all their fights.
Of course not.
They all start and by losing, and then they start gaining the experience.
Exactly.
Feeling more confident in the ring, and then they start winning.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So I don't know any champion really, to be honest, who's maybe the Anthony Joshua is slightly different on the professional.
Yeah, but he's taken his losses in the amateurs as well.
Yes.
He's been stopped in the amateurs. It makes you who you are. You learn from, you learn from experiences. The losses they build you into the character you are. But I always, encourage youngsters to get into combat sports now as well, because it's all about challenging yourself as well. And I feel if you not protect the kids, but if you don't expose them to these type of things, earlier on, then it becomes more difficult for them. Like I say, later on in life, they're going to be reluctant to try and challenge themselves. They're going to second guess themselves and doubt and that type of stuff. It's all about building self-esteem, which happens to me as well. I took a loss in the title fight last year, but it's like I say, it's how you build from that. You identify the mistakes you make, and it makes you a bigger person and a better person and a better fighter ultimately.
Right, guys, just a quick one to say, Grant, thank you very much for coming on to our show.
Thanks for having me, man.
No problems. We might do it again sometime.
Definitely.
Or everybody, just to let you guys know, let me know if you want any tickets for the fight. We are going to be doing those. Come and see me, support me. Maybe the more encouragement and shouts I get will make me, boost up a little bit more courage and maybe give me a little bit boost of energy, really, more than anything else, I think. Right, guys, we're just coming up to the end of the show now, so hopefully we'll see you on the next one, which is going to be in 4 weeks' time. It's the first Thursday of every month. And again, we're on Inspire FM 105.1. And just saying goodbye to all the listeners and all the fans that we have. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully that we've done on a good show tonight, and we'll see you hopefully in the next month. Maybe we might have Fahad back next time on our show, and he could be my co-host. Goodbye from me, and Ghassan, just say goodbye.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Why not tune in to our live stream at inspirefm.org and follow and subscribe to our social media platforms at Inspire FM Luton.